Nobody wins when the family feels.
To take down DNA, he wouldn't give them his DNA, so they had to serve him a search warrant to get his DNA.
Get out, and then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The acting United States Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies. Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement. Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody and will be transferred into federal custody. And we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive.
You know, fam, they say one of the worst things in life is having to bury your own child. That's pain no parent should ever prepare for. But imagine it being worse. Not only do you lose your kid, but you can't even be there to say goodbye. Not because you don't love him, but because your own choices made you unavailable. You behind them walls, hearing that your baby gone, and there's nothing you can do. You can't hold him. You can't see him. You can't even stand over the casket. At that point, it ain't just guilt. It's torture. It's them what-ifs that keep playing in your mind. What if I never took that route? What if I was home? What if I could have stopped it? And that kind of pressure, man, it'll eat your spirit alive. I can only imagine. Now, recently, I came across a story that hit me hard. Because this one right here ain't just about the streets. It's about karma, choices, and pain coming full circle. A well-known figure out of California. A man respected, feared, and at times admired. Sat behind bars on a massive federal case when the unthinkable happened. His son gunned down outside a smoke shop, caught on camera, on Halloween. The same city he once controlled through power and fear now became the same place that took his child. Now what's crazy about all this? In the video we once covered, I'll leave the link in the bio, we went over that indictment. We talked about the murder that's in that indictment. Another child of another man who was accused of being gunned down by Big U, according to the feds. Crazy how life work, huh? Today we go over this story. We also check out what's the update on Big U's case. Talk about his upbringing, his 2 sons, the one that made it out, and unfortunately, the one that followed his son's footsteps. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Before the feds ever came knocking, before the courtrooms and the indictments, this story started with a murder. January 25th, 2021. A cold morning in North Las Vegas. Police discovered the body of a young man shot multiple times and dragged into the desert saying his name, Rayshawn Williams, an aspiring rapper signed to Big U's record label, Unique Music. But see, 5 days earlier, according to this indictment, Rayshawn Williams had recorded a diss song. In it, he mocked Big U, talked about being shot in the face, bragged about a 38 with no trace. To most people, it's just lyrics, but in the streets, that kind of disrespect can get you killed. Now for those who don't know, to give you a little backstory on how that day went down, witnesses say that RW and Big U were at a studio together that night at around 12:37 a.m. When Big U leave the studio, 20 minutes later, his phone goes dark. No GPS, no calls. And then almost an hour later, his phone pings, again near the same studio. That same time frame, 48 minutes, is exactly how long it takes to drive from that studio to the desert off I-15 and back. By 2:30 a.m., Big U's back at the studio, drenched in sweat, telling the security guard he just came from the gym. The next morning, RW's body is found, shot in the face, no shell casings. just like he rapped it. Nobody got arrested. It would seem nobody talked about it except RW's family. But that murder, that one act, would come back years later to open a much bigger door. Since that date between then and 2024, what seemed just like another street killing sparked something way bigger. Behind the scenes, the FBI and the Los Angeles Gang Task Force started watching. They weren't just looking at one death, they were tracing a pattern. Over the next few years, they gathered phone taps, GPS data, and wire transfers. They talked to a witness, some from the streets, some from the industry, and little by little, a picture formed. The feds say Big U had been running a network they call the Big U Enterprise, a combination of muscle, money, and manipulation. They allege he extorted rappers, athletes, and even Hollywood producers under something known as the check-in system. According to them, everyone coming to LA who didn't check in risked being robbed, pressed, or publicly humiliated. And at the same time, they say it's non-profit developing options, the same group meant to help the community, was being used to move money, pay off associates, and hide illegal earnings. Now, of course, in a previous video, we later elaborated on who the victims were in the indictment. Of course, I'll leave the link in the bio. But on wiretaps, Big U can be heard bragging about, quote, being a hunter of the rolling 60s, talking about having paperwork on people, meaning he knew who was cooperating with police. The feds started tying everything together. The murders, the robbery, the fake charities, and even that 2021 Vegas killing.
LA, that's one of the cities you got to be on point. Right. Like, you gotta be like, especially with it being so political and the politics out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one spot I don't play. Like,
they said it's more dangerous right now with 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 3 o'clock in the morning.
The first time I ever went to LA, I went out there to shoot the party video.
Word.
Right. They knew what time I landed. They knew what hotel I was at before I landed. Listen, bro, the first time I go out there, so flying with TIG, Fly was like, man, we gotta go pull up on Big U. So we're going to Crenshaw High School, but he got the football kids out there. So okay, I know Crenshaw the Bruce side. When we first pull up, I see him and Wack talking, and in my mind, I'm like, I thought it's Blood versus Crip. These niggas sitting here talking, having a conversation. Right. So my mind fucked up. This is my first time going out there. He was like, yeah, man, we knew what time you landed. I was like, oh, yeah, this shit different. He was like, yeah, you over there, you in the hotel room, Then what you call it, get your bag, ain't your driver? I was like, oh, yeah, this shit different. So at the same time, I say that to say, that checking in should be real. So, cause like, I kid you not, my word, what y'all say, word to mother? Word to mother.
We don't say that anymore.
My bad, but like, to let you know I ain't playing, I ain't paid no money. All he wanted me to do was just take pictures with the kids, the football kids, and it be little shit like that. Like, niggas be thinking check-in, oh, you got to pay. They just want you to show the community like you're still able to be reached. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I went out there that time, I ain't never had no problems from that first time. You know what I mean? No problems. Like, even when I go out, I still got my dudes I check in with, hey, bro, I'm here, bro. If I need anything, you know what I'm saying? Woo. But that shit protocol, man. Even when I come out here, I got my dudes I call. That's everywhere. Right. You know what I mean? I done been in a lot of these spots more than one time, bro. I've been doing this shit for 10 years, so a lot of these spots I done been to 3 or 4 times, so I've accumulated friends, like niggas I fuck with, like, I feel like you my brother. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna make sure I'm straight. You know what I mean? So, man, we can't never let our guard down, bro. A city.
Fast forward to March 17, 2025, and the hammer finally drops. The Department of Justice unsealed a 107-page federal complaint against Big U and 7 other alleged members of his circle. The charges read like a movie script: RICO conspiracy, Hobbs Act robbery, human trafficking, fraud, and tax evasion. In that same indictment, the murder of R.W., the Vegas rapper who dissed him, was officially listed as part of the Racketeering Acts. The feds called it a message killer, meant to protect the organization's image through fear. They even accused Henley of ordering security footage to be destroyed from the studio, coaching witnesses to stay quiet and intimidating anyone who might talk. For years, he'd been seen as a community mentor, getting city grants, speaking at schools, and organizing youth sports. But now, the government was calling it all to the front, saying he'd been using his community as a cover for organized crime. Not to mention, that same draft for the year he got arrested, his son would get drafted to the San Diego Chargers, living out his childhood dreams. The same first and last name, except this time, senior in the headlines with the feds. It was a moment of shock. Someone once viewed as a savior of South Central, now painted as his biggest manipulator.
To being a longtime leader of the Rolling 60s Crips gang, Eugene Henley Jr. has become known in recent years for his charity work to reduce gang violence. Now the FBI is accusing him of running a criminal enterprise that committed a series of crimes, including a murder back in 2021. NBC4's Alex Rozier live with details you see for the first time and only on 4. Alex.
Michael, Big U is in federal custody right now. Prosecutors say they have probable cause to believe that he killed a man in Las Vegas in 2021, then dragged his body into the desert. Today, I learned the man killed is closely connected to Big U's family.
When did you ever really learn how to play the drum?
Eugene Henley Jr.'s podcast, seen here on YouTube, is one of many ways he made his name.
It's season 2 of Checking In.
Henley Jr., known as Big U, interviewed celebrities.
The big homie.
Yes, sir.
And he's run a charity and music label. But the feds say he's also a longtime leader of the Rollin' 60s Crip Street Gang. And now he's in custody for racketeering crimes that include the murder of rapper Rayshawn Williams. Court papers say Williams, seen here on Instagram, was an artist for Big U's label Unique Music. And in 2021, prosecutors say Williams wrote a song, quote, dissing Big U. Documents say Big U then kidnapped and murdered Williams in Las Vegas in retaliation for perceived disrespect. But before Williams was a rapper, he was a wide receiver for Crenshaw High School. The day after he was killed, the football program announced his death in this post on Instagram, saying in part, quote, he was a special guy to all of us. And not only did he play for Crenshaw, the wide receiver was teammates with Big U's son, Deion Henley. This LA Times video shows Henley throwing a pass to Williams. Deion Henley is now a linebacker for the LA Chargers. In 2023, the Times wrote a story about him with the headline, conceived in prison, Deion Henley was born into the dangerous world of his dad, who put him on a path to the NFL. Deion's quoted in the article saying, it's one heck of an origin story, adding, you know how they talk about anti-heroes, the people who are the bad guys, but they really aren't? That's my dad. But now his dad, Big U, is back in custody, and the feds say he's connected to a number of crimes, including the murder of his son's high school teammate, Rayshawn Williams.
Now, since then, Big U had told the court he doesn't have enough money to hire a new lawyer and that he's representing himself in his high-profile RICO trial after his lawyer asked to withdraw. His attorney, Hernandez, cited a breakdown in communication and trust while requesting to get off the case. The attorney-client relationship has deteriorated to the point where continued representation would be unfair to both the client and the court, Hernandez stated in his filing. This comes after the U.S. District Judge had pushed his trial date back a full year till May of 2026. Prosecutors have requested more time to review a massive amount of evidence they had compiled. They claim to have over 20,000 intercepted audio calls. They also say law enforcement reports search warrants and returns, criminal history documents, recordings, and photographs.
Well, Big U is representing himself.
Yep.
His attorney, Arturo Hernandez, cited a breakdown in communication and trust while requesting to get off of the case. The attorney-client relationship has deteriorated to the point where continued representation would be unfair to both the client and the court. And Big U has told the court he doesn't have enough money to hire a new lawyer. But you can get a court-appointed attorney if you can't afford a lawyer.
It's the Fed, so I don't really want to speak out of turn, but I believe I'm talking to some people that did some Fed time. They still charge you hourly, even with the court appointed. This is what they're telling me. I don't know if
okay, so it is possible to get a court-appointed attorney in a federal case if you cannot afford one. The Sixth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees the right to counsel in serious criminal prosecutions. It doesn't say anything about money here.
I believe after speaking with...
They have to assess your financial situation. If you qualify, the court will appoint an attorney from a panel of attorneys or a federal defender office. I don't see anything about money.
After speaking with Eddie Boy, 600, and Eddie Boy is Code D from the 90s.
Okay.
Where they did all that. Eddie Boy got like 32 years, he got like 24. After speaking with Eddie Boy, he said he believes that Big U wants to get all those documents to see who really was informing on him. Whether the information led to arrest or not, or a charge or not, if it's a dude that got pulled over at midnight, asked a question and pointed the finger at Big U, any possibilities, I think he wants to see that. He wants to know if it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 dudes, right, that was maybe giving up information on him over a period of time. Why? Because they think he want to use that as a reason to say, well, y'all got out on me, I'm going to get out on y'all to save myself.
Yeah, but you can't really represent yourself in a trial. Even lawyers who get charged with crimes will get lawyers to represent them.
Sometime in there, it's 26,000 pages of wiretaps, 46,000 pages of evidence. I think somewhere in there, after he sees what he wants to see, because he felt like the attorney is just going to address the 43 counts. Big U want to see the dude that got pulled over at midnight and said, yeah, I heard Big U might have had something to do with that. Although it didn't lead to a count. He wants to see these things. I think it'll get to a point where he'll say, hey, man, this is overwhelming. I need legal. I don't know if he can do that. I don't know. But we do know that he absolutely wants to know who, if any, gave up statements or information on him.
But just when the same things couldn't get worse, Halloween, October 31st, 2025, life spin the block. When Big U sat in federal custody, waiting to fight for his freedom, tragedy struck again. His son was shot and killed outside a smoke shop in California. A spokesman from the Los Angeles Police Department stated that the officers were dispatched to the intersection of 69th Street in South LA at around 11:11 p.m. for a shooting call. The victim, described as a 34-year-old black male, walked up to the suspect vehicle in a Halloween mask when an unknown suspect or suspects shot at him. The LAPD spokesperson confirmed the suspects then fled in an unknown direction. The department spokesperson added that the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Identified as Jabari Baby Huey Henley.
Blue rag, ragged balls, and a pair of Gucci. I got the 12-4-5, I'm calling my groupies. Give me trash. Up the booth, old dog and nice tube. I see too many movies, and I don't want.
Y'all want to sign too, Grimy? Look at these two dudes, Huey and Nipsey Hussle. On the block.
What is that, girl? What you filming on? That's
I'm on Instagram.
Out here for real.
On Instagram.
Looking up. You said got it.
Ain't nut. I love nut though. Y'all
well-known Crip got killed tonight. He has one son that plays for the Chargers and one son that does not. And I don't know which son it was that got killed. I think it's the son who doesn't play for the Chargers.
The same man once accused of ordering violence according to the feds now lost his own child to it. Caught on camera, same streets, same cycle. No matter how strong your name is, no matter how respected you are, you can't out-control karma. You can't outrun the consequences that come back to your doorstep. From Crenshaw to Vegas to the federal courthouse, this story reads like a modern-day tragedy. A man who built his own reputation off respect and fear and ended up living the very pain he caused. And the truth is, fam, this one ain't about picking sides or judging who real or fake. It's about understanding that everything we do, every move, every decision, come back around. When you choose power over peace, when you build empires on pain, eventually that pain finds its way home. And if you really think about it, maybe that's the real definition of karma. As we head out of here, we do want to say rest in peace to every victim we talked about in this story. Love and condolences to you guys' families. And we send 11 prayers to anyone who was affected by the story we just covered. Fam, this was the story of a well-known influencer based out of LA. A well-known alleged Crip who get arrested by the feds, and months after, his son gets gunned down by a man in a Halloween mask. And on top of all this, these are same allegations similar to what his dad is arrested for. Let me know how you guys feel about this one. In the comments, was this karma, a coincidence, or just the streets doing what the streets do? Make sure you subscribe to the Family TV. Stay tuned for more updates on this case when more develop. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.